Hi, I'm Nate Lucas, your host for the Kentucky Kernel Podcast, the University of Kentucky's very own student-led, award-winning newspaper. I'm joined by my co-host, Giana Gallo. You want to say hi?
Hi, everybody.
Today, our main topics will be the 2023 UK Family Weekend that just occurred this past weekend, and a spotlight on the article 5 Places to Study That Aren't Willy T, published in the Kernel and written by our amazing features editor, Gray Greenwell. A quick disclaimer, the opinions expressed on this podcast are the speaker's own and do not reflect the opinions held by the Kernel. All right, let's go. All right, Giana, before we get into our main topics of the day, I just want to ask you, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. I actually went to London, Kentucky's Chicken Festival, which was just amazing. I really cannot. I saw Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders, and being an out-of-state student, I was just over the moon. I felt like this was the Southern dream.
Yeah, have you ever been to Colonel Sanders' home and had KFC there?
No, I went to Corbin, Kentucky, to see like the original KFC, which was again amazing because we don't have this where I'm from.
Yeah.
So it was truly amazing. But
I think that's what I was referring to. I don't know.
They have his bed in this KFC,
Okay.
which is kind of bizarre a little bit. Like it's a museum, but you can grab KFC. But I loved it. It was great.
Mm-hmm. That was a highlight of my Kentucky high school career. We would work with the YMCA club, the Y club,
Mm-hmm.
and we would have mock government like conferences and stuff, and we would always go to KFC. There was two of them. There was one where it was like a national conference, and then there was like an international conference, both mock. But we would go to KFC for one of them, and it was always so good. It was awesome, and it was a KFC buffet too.
Oh.
Yeah, it was sweet. But I remember you saying, did you hang out with your family this weekend?
No, I went to my boyfriend's families.
Okay.
So it was really nice, and they were giving me all the scoop on the Chicken Festival and Colonel Sanders, so I feel like a local now. But
Yeah. Was there any illegal cockfighting at the Chicken Festival? You know, Kentucky's actually the cockfighting capital of the world.
What?
Yeah, it's a big deal here. Mhm.
No. Well, I know at the Chicken Festival they have, there was some crowing or some competition that is very bizarre, but people are legit about this. Like they wait all year for the Chicken Festival to show off their rooster crowing or whatever roosters do.
Mm-hmm.
And chicken noises.
Yeah. Was it like in the movies, like cock-a-doodle-doo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was insane.
That's funny.
So I was just hoping there was chicken races, but I think I missed that, or they don't have that.
Yeah. Well, talking about your boyfriend's family, this weekend was also family weekend for the University of Kentucky. So we had a lot of families flocking to Lexington to come cuddle their cats.
Yes, and you did cover
so to
that
speak.
a little bit.
Yeah,
Tell us about
I did.
family weekend.
So family weekend, it really started off with a tour of Kroger Field. You could check in earlier. It was a paid event. But really the first real event was a tour of Kroger Field, and so I went and covered that event with another reporter of ours. And the whole vibe around it was everybody was very, very excited to tour Kroger Field for sure, because I know it's a big part of history. There's a big wall with all of our Ring of Honor, like Hall of Fame past football players that we had, and our coaches and all that stuff. So I think it was a treat for a lot of these parents to see the inside of Kroger Field.
Yeah, could you just walk around the stadium, or could you go see like the actual football stadium, or what did the setup really look like?
Yeah, so I didn't take a tour myself, but I did have access to a lot of the field. So I was seeing tours walk around, and I'm pretty familiar with Kroger Field. So there was a Central Bank Center that they were allowed to go into, which I think is usually for donors, big donors and stuff like that. And then they also had the recruiting place open where they send a lot of the football recruits to get them to come join. They'll invite them to a game. That was open as well. And then I want to say the field was open, but I'm not completely sure. I personally got access to the field
Ooh.
because I cozied up to one of the staff members there, so they were nice enough to let me go and film on the field and get some clips for my broadcast video that I did for the Kernel. But yeah,
Was there a football game?
no, there was not a football game this weekend.
Bizarre.
Yeah, it was very bizarre. So it actually ends up that Kentucky is one of two SEC schools this football season, that do not have a family weekend football home game. Yes. So there's two other schools that they don't have a fall family weekend, so they kind of get off of that, like it doesn't matter that they don't have a home football game for their family weekend because it's in the spring. I think that's Georgia and Texas A&M.
Oh, okay.
And instead of doing a home football game in their regular football season, they do like their spring practice. So when their team scrimmages each other, the starting offense and the starting defense, that's when their family weekend is. So it's a little unconventional compared to the 12 other SEC schools. So it's Kentucky and Mississippi State that do not have a home game this year.
Wow. Because I remember last year, because my family came down for family weekend, and there was, I think it was the Northern Illinois versus UK.
Yes, I believe it was Northern Illinois.
Yeah, and
I think we got a transfer from that game too.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Oh my
I think a
gosh.
guy from their team transferred here. Marquez Cox, I believe. You guys can get mad at me if I'm wrong on that, but yeah.
Yeah, but I just found it really bizarre that, parents are wanting to see and get see the campus and get the UK spirit, and there was no football game, which I feel like says, I know there's big controversy if we're a basketball or football school, but still everybody should go to a UK game. Was there any sports game, UK game this weekend for parents?
Yeah, there was a volleyball game versus LSU, I believe, on that Friday night. So our volleyball team's pretty good. So I think that parents could still enjoy some of that sports swagger if they wanted to. I also talked to a staff member when I was at the Kroger Field tour, and she was like a big volleyball fan. She was actually very excited about being able to play LSU, which I was like, that's pretty uncommon. Some more stats on Kentucky's past family games too. So I was right in saying that Georgia and Texas A&M, they don't have a fall family weekend game, but that's because their parents' weekend is in the spring. And then Mississippi State and Kentucky, they do not have the fall family weekend game this year, despite their family weekend being in the fall. And then over the past 6 over the past 6 years, Kentucky has had a football game, a home football game, except for this year. So past 5 years they have, excluding obviously the COVID-19 year, where there was less fans. Yeah, and so I don't think they had a family weekend at all that year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is very wild. On the Family Weekend website, it's run by the Parent and Family Association. It says that just because of the academic schedule, the holiday schedule, and the football schedule, there wasn't a weekend this year where they could allocate enough resources to hold it.
True.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year we'll have family weekend on a game day in Kentucky.
Yeah, I hope so too. My parents are big Cats fans. They didn't come for this family weekend because they're not going to come if there's not a game.
No.
They already come to Lexington enough for the football games. But yeah, I hope that these freshmen aren't scorned by UK Parent Weekend. Yeah, it made me kind of sad for them because I mean I've had family weekends, but they haven't yet. I was gonna say one more thing about it. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna do a little bit of speculation.
Ooh.
This does not reflect the opinions of the Colonel, of course, but I just wonder if this has anything to do with. Okay, so the SEC plans the games, all right?
Okay.
And the NCAA, I guess, they plan the games for the teams because they're part of the conference, whatever. So UK didn't have the power to be like, yeah, we want this as our family weekend. We're gonna have it, blah blah blah. But I'm wondering if we maybe didn't get a UK home football game for family weekend this year because of the screw ups that we've seen in the past with people coming to Lexington if Lexington itself doesn't have enough resources.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's not UK, maybe it's Lexington itself. And maybe UK to an extent too, because they've had 2 of their biggest classes the past 2 years. And they're having to do things like Try It, where they create more dorms pretty much artificially without building them. But I wonder that because we had, if you remember, the Lexington regional tournament that they held for the NCAA for the baseball. Yeah, they had the baseball tournament that they held in Lexington, and the teams and the family and friends, they weren't able to get hotels because that was the same weekend as the country concert. I forget the name. I apologize. But it doesn't matter. It was just the fact that Lexington had a hard time having everybody here to do that. So I wonder if that's a
really
possibility.
Good speculation. I feel like Lexington too is unlike some cities. Lexington is constantly like booming. Like the population is going up, and I feel like the city is trying to keep up with accumulating, more hotels or places for people to stay because it's becoming a more touristy spot, and especially for parent weekend, I feel like it's just masses of people coming in.
Lexington, you guys need to fix the roads first. I hate that it's 2-lane roads. Every way is like a one-way. If you ever go to Rupp Arena, or I think it's called Central Bank Center now, whatever.
That's a disaster.
Yeah, it's horrible. I never want to go to an event at Rupp Arena because I know it's going to take an hour to get out. And the gym that I go to is close there too. Oh my gosh.
You might as well just walk.
Yeah, seriously. I'm just like, I might as well leave my car here and walk back to my apartment. Like, it's horrible. And then it's after the gym, so I'm so hungry and I'm so tired, and I get stuck in bumper to bumper traffic. And then I look up who it is, and it's like some lame comedian. It's horrible.
Not to call anybody out, but it's a lame
I didn't say
comedian.
a name. I didn't say any names, but
hey, I mean, I'm seeing the Jonas Brothers tomorrow, so
okay, that's valid.
Ticketmaster literally sent me a email saying expect lots of traffic. You might want to consider getting an Uber.
Oh yeah, I would walk.
I'm just gonna walk. I will not be driving, nor paying $27 for a 3-hour concert.
No, I think that's part of the experience too.
Right.
Is walking.
I agree.
Or you could take a spin.
Oh.
Like that. Yeah, like the electric scooter.
Those scare me.
Oh yeah.
They scare me so much. I don't want to take an electric scooter. No thanks.
I took one this weekend because I went to the Lexington Vintage Market at Central Bank Center. And it was pretty good. It was really expensive, but I also paid for it because I didn't want to pay for parking. So I just parked on campus. Yeah. And I walked there, but then I took the scooter back. It was only $5. So I think I think parking at Rupp would have been like $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been pretty expensive. So, and it's a fun time. Yeah, it's a good time. But as for Parents Weekend on Saturday, I've really only talked about Saturday where there was the missing home game. I went on campus again to get a little more of the story, and that day UK was holding a tent party, which they do every year. And that's pretty much just there's a band. Ooh, bad voice crack, sorry. There's a band and there's food. And there's like cornhole and stuff,
fun.
Just like basic party things. Yeah. It was in a different location this year. It was on Stoll Field by the Student Center. Last year, I also covered it last year too, but just as like a writing reporter. It was by the field with the Johnson Center.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. It was like right by Kroger Field, but
but not.
Yeah. not
yeah, it was close to that area, though, so they changed the location this year to be closer to the Student Center, and I think that's because the Student Center has a lot of TVs, and they were broadcasting the away game versus the Vanderbilt Commodores. So it was kind of a sad sight to see.
Yeah.
There was multiple locations in the Gatton Student Center that you could watch the game. And I was just very sad to see a lot of families fixated on the game. They could have gone to Kroger Field, but
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Fingers crossed for next year.
Yeah, seriously. I think UK played a pretty good game too.
Yeah.
I know it's 21-0 in the first quarter. They had a really good first quarter. But yeah, they broadcasted it in the ballroom. There's a big TV on the stairs, the wooden stairs.
Yep.
If you go in the student center, if our listeners know where that is, the Cat's Den, and the cinema room.
Oh, that is
theater.
A lot of. That'd be kind of fun to watch in a movie theater.
Yeah, they had it in 4 places.
That's
yeah,
nice.
If you really like football, then yeah.
I bet all the dads were just in heaven.
Go to the theater.
Go to the theater. And
yeah, most
really
people were in the ballroom though. I think that was because there was a raffle going on too, and some food. So, gonna go to the ballroom for that. But yeah, that's pretty much Parents Weekend. There's also a little bit on Sunday, but it's really not notable. There was another volleyball game versus Tennessee. So if you're a big volleyball fan, you might want to stay for that. But it was at 3 p.m. So I don't know how far away people are living away from their cats, from their kittens. But and there was also the Latino Festival Saturday night as well.
Yes.
So I saw a few pictures of food from that. It looked really good. Yeah, it looked awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Parents Weekend. I hope that if our listeners went, that they enjoyed and they weren't really disappointed by no home football game.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's get to our next topic then. 5 spots around campus that you can study at instead of William T. Young Library, written by our Futures editor, Gray Greenwell.
Yeah. So Gray covers this article on, again, 5 spots around campus, inside, outside. It's a very well done article. Definitely check it out on the Kentucky Kernel News website. But for those who are students at UK, you probably are very well aware of William T. Young Library, aka Willy T. But this, just for some background knowledge, Willy T was made in 1998. And obviously dedicated after William T. Young, who was a wealthy UK graduate and a Lexington local who made his fortune in the food industry and by breeding racehorses. He donated $5 million for this space. And for those who don't know or recognize or are familiar with the space, Willy T is a 5-floor library, and each floor is separated by different noise levels. So the basement, which is the coolest spot to go to because especially on a hot day, that air conditioning works like a charm. But the basement and the first floor are conversational spaces. The second and third floor are for collaborative study sessions. And the fourth and fifth are for quiet, completely quiet, silence. So, Nate, have you been to Willy T?
Yes, I've been to William T. Young.
What is your favorite part of that library?
So I have a confession. I'm not really that big of a studier, to be honest. And Willy T has always been really far away from me in regards to where I've lived. And I've never had a UK parking pass, so I've just never been interested in going over there and studying. But I did go there my freshman year, a decent amount in the spring semester, I believe, because I had a group project where we were making a podcast, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah, so before I was on this podcast, I had a little group assignment podcast that I had to do.
Fun.
Yeah, in the Willy T Media Depot. So I think our equipment's a little bit nicer, though. Yeah, I like it a little bit more. How about you? Do you study a lot now?
So I think that's also, all of these questions kind of go together because for me, I live on South Central, whatever the name is, campus. So Willy T is super close to me, which is so convenient. If I need a break from my dorm room or a study room, I can just head to that library. And I love that each floor kind of gives me a gauge of like what study zone do I need to be in. Obviously, they also have the Starbucks, so that's a huge plus. Kind of gets you in the, all-nighter mood. But I think for me, I just love like all of the academic resources that they have. the outside balconies, sometimes they lock it. They like to trick you at Willy T by having chairs, but they lock the door, so that really upsets me. But I love Willy T. I'm always on the third floor. Third floor is my jam.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Willy T. Willy T's cool, even though I don't go to it much. I do really like the basement part of it. That's my favorite floor, personally. I think the Media Depot is really cool. I took Ryan Craig's class down there, our media advisor for the Kernel, and I always have good memories of that. And the Starbucks takes flex, which is cool.
Yes.
I'm not a Starbucks consumer that often. But I understand the plight of our caffeine-addicted students and that they want to use their flex dollars. So I'm glad that it accepts flex because our student center does not. So that's a nice plus. And it just looks really nice.
It's such a beautiful building. It's so aesthetic, and even with like fall coming up, the pictures that like on the Instagram, the Kentucky Instagram,
if you go to any Kentucky Instagram,
pretty.
Willy T is all over it because they know it looks so good.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I love especially I think during certain months, like if it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month or like certain months, they'll use the top, I don't even know architecture terms, but the roof of the building. It looks like a lighthouse. I just call it the lighthouse. And they'll uplight with like different colors. And it's so pretty. Beautiful building. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, let's talk about a few other study places on UK's campus. So first up is the Office for Student Success. Have you ever been there?
No. I had no idea this even existed. So thank goodness for Gray covering this.
Yeah, so I think I've been on the second floor of Gatton for sure. I definitely think that I've studied up there once or twice, but I think it was on an outside location. You can go outside and do it. But yeah, second floor of the student center in general, I think, is definitely a little underrated. They have a lot of benches and just stuff in there, and they're all cushioned.
Oh, so that's definitely a perk.
Yeah, that is definitely a good part about Gatton, and I feel like even on the first floor where they have some cushion stuff, you can find a spot if you really need it and if you like that ambience of like people walking by, and it's not going to be super loud. They might be having like a conversation or two, but you'll definitely be able to focus. Like it's not going to be like a whole, maybe a tour will pass you. I don't know. maybe on occasion, but there's not going to be like a bunch of noise. It's maybe unless it was like during lunchtime or something, but Gatton as a whole, I feel like that's a pretty good spot.
Yeah, and I feel like there are so many hidden paths and tables in Gatton. Like well, first I never knew that there was an Auntie Anne's. I always just was curious that why does it always smell like pretzels in the Gatton, in the student center? But there's tables over by Auntie Anne's. There's benches all over the place. Even the social staircase I often sit on. Because there's outlets all over the place. But I agree. I mean, I had no idea about this Office for Student Success, but I definitely want to check it out because it has cushioned seats. So
yeah, cushion seats always plus. So the next location is Great Hall, which is also in Gatton Student Center. Have you ever been to Great Hall?
No.
I have not ever been to Great Hall either. I've seen it before, but I assumed it was offices. So
yeah, I know the picture. Again, if you do look up Kentucky Kernel, the website, and read Gray's article, there's beautiful pictures to capture these spaces as well. And this one has Great Hall has huge windows. So natural light for me, I'm a natural light sucker. It keeps me up. And if I need a break, I can just kind of stare out the window and try and rejuvenate my dead brain. But I've never heard of this hall, but it looks absolutely beautiful and a good place to do some light studying.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. So the next place is the College of Engineering Quad. So I've always walked through this place and thought, ooh, this is really nice. I can see why you guys are engineers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty well known for the all brick.
Yeah.
Surrounding. I feel like I'm entering like I don't even know. It's just a lot of red brick. The ground is brick. Everything is brick.
Yeah, it is like a new sensation. I feel like I'm entering like a dwarf village or something,
yeah.
like something weird like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a video game. I don't know why. But I like the area because I skateboard around campus, and I think my skateboard makes a really cool sound when it goes over the bricks.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, so that tickles my brain. But I don't know if this would be the best studying place, to be honest.
No, and I was walking there today, or walking through that, because there's a lot of little secret passages in that little quad area, and they only have one table.
Oh.
So that was really deceiving, because I knew we were doing this podcast on libraries, and I was like, oh my gosh, how funny that I'm walking through one of the quad areas we're going to be talking about today. And there was one bench and one of those like plastic lawn chairs. So it's definitely nice if you are walking, but you would have to really reserve that one table if you want to study.
Yeah, I think it deserves a shout out as a pretty place on campus, as does by the law school. I feel like that's a very pretty area as well, and that probably has comparable amount of tables and chairs.
Mm-hmm.
But you are going to have to deal with traffic there. That's probably where the most traffic is. Yeah. And if fire trucks and ambulances are going on, then you're going to hear it. But that's also a very pretty part of campus as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to our next location, Lucille Caudill Little Fine Arts Library. So have you ever been here?
I love this library.
Oh, okay.
Little library, which also, this is controversial. Do you call it, well, before I get into my amazing opinion about this library, do you call it the Little Library or the Fine Arts Library?
I've never thought about it before. My personal experience with it is that I had a class in the other part of it.
Okay.
Where the subway is. That place is a maze.
That
for
is.
real. I've had 2 classes in there now. So I don't know. I guess I've had too much trouble just getting to my class to begin with. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
Because I'm on, I think it should be called the Little Library. I don't know. But anyways, I love this library because it's super small. Nobody really knows about it. So it makes it very intimate, and you can study and really focus. It's very colorful in there, so it'll keep you up. The staff is super nice. I don't know. It just is like a college library, like a movie college where they fit, I don't know. It's
they would totally
very
do a
aesthetic.
scene in there.
Yeah.
I agree. My only experience with it is that one time you can get books copied for your classes in there, which is super sweet. That saves you literally all your money.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in there to copy a book for my class and literally just copy out the pages that I needed for the class and then put them in a Google Drive folder. And then there you go. I have all the reading I need for the rest of the semester.
That's so nice.
I didn't have to pay any money. So the staff was super nice helping me get that set up because they have a copier type thing in there. So they were awesome. And I thought it was really pretty too.
Mm-hmm.
And they also had a little tiny museum or something in there. Yeah, which I thought was really cool too. So I've never studied in there, but yeah, Lucille Caudill Little Fine Arts Library, you have a little spot in my heart. Thank you for helping me out during that class. And now for our final location, the College of Agriculture Alumni Plaza. So I've never been here.
Me either.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I mean, the first sentence is up for a walk to South Campus. I can tell this is super duper far away from anything.
Yeah, especially when I saw the picture of the hospital in the back, I was like, oh, that is far.
Yeah, that's south. Yeah.
That's south. Oh.
Yeah, I was on the bus the other day and I actually saw the College of Ag building because I never really comprehended where it was on campus. And then I saw people getting off the bus to go to the College of Ag, and you basically have to go all the way to Kroger Field pretty much to go there.
Oh, geez.
Almost. Yeah, it was really bad.
I can't even imagine a passing
really bad
period.
trek.
where you would have to go from there to Whitehall. There's no way that you could do that in 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Yeah. So I feel bad for agriculture majors, you guys.
Hey, at least they have a nice space to study.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Possibly.
Yeah. I'm sure the building is really nice too. I think UK,
Yeah.
that's the specialty of UK, is the College of Agriculture. So I'm sure it's not annoying once you're inside of the building.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's nice in there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like it stinks good over there. And then same with if you are a nursing major too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would also stink.
Yeah.
I had a class in by the hospital
Okay.
last spring semester, and it was tough.
Yeah. I have a class in the College of Nursing.
Okay.
I have a linguistics class in the College of Nursing.
Yeah, I had a science class, which makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
But it was like cells.
Oh.
It wasn't like I wasn't learning about what's it called when anatomy. Like I wasn't learning anatomy or like anything conducive to nursing.
Yeah.
So.
Out of these 5 locations, which one would you go to, Nate?
Ooh, that's a good question. Probably the Fine Arts Library.
Good
I probably would
answer.
go. Yeah. Just 'cause I mean, the vibe there is immaculate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Top tier out
They
of
have
all
an
of
immaculate
these.
vibe. Yeah.
Everybody should visit the Fine Arts Library. Little/Fine Arts Library.
Yes, it is a nice place for sure. Everybody's super nice.
Mhm.
But all right, I think that concludes our main topics for today. So let's get on to scoops out of the litter. What do we want to start with?
Whoop whoop. Scoops out of the litter. I think we should start with the weirdest news.
Okay.
Horse on the loose causes traffic jam on I-75.
Yeah, this is why we still need cowboys. The age of the cowboy, it still needs to be here. So
Yeah, so some quick information for those who might not know about this horse. First off, the horse has been successfully caught by animal control, so nobody worry, the horse is just fine. But yesterday, around 3 p.m., Kentucky State Police said the horse was spotted running on the interstate near Clay's Ferry Bridge. And it's really funny because, I'm coming home from the chicken festival, and my boyfriend's mom, she was like, there's a horse on the interstate, be careful. And I was like, oh my gosh, welcome to Kentucky. This is beyond something. But again, the horse has been successfully caught.
yeah, a horse walks across I-75. What does it say?
Oh gosh.
It says, "Hey."
Crickets.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, that was really bad. I just thought of that randomly. My bad.
that was really good, Nate.
Yeah, but
Jokes with Nate. Tune in.
I saw the video of the horse getting captured, and I think we really do need cowboys. It was like 2 policemen, and they were just like following it, like they couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like there's a rope, and I mean, this is why we need to fund the police more. This is why they need more classes. Like I always hear that they're getting rid of classes for police to do stuff, and this was probably one of them that they removed.
Yeah.
Originally, this was probably one of them that they were like, maybe police don't need this skill, but they do.
Now they do.
They
It's
really
very
do.
important.
Yeah, and I mean, they have so many gadgets on them. I don't know why they can't have a rope as well.
And then pull out their cowboy hats.
Yeah,
just going
seriously.
full
I mean, if it
facade.
was a sheriff, I think sheriffs still wear cowboy hats, or they wear hats.
Yeah.
So, could have had that. But let's get on to our next topic. Do you want to go national level? Okay, we'll talk about the government shutdown. So, Eli Capilouto, he sent out an email last weekend, I think, and he said, be on the lookout for the government shutdown because UK will be affected if the government shuts down on Saturday. September 30th, they have until to reach an agreement. So if there's no agreement met before then the government will shut down.
Yeah. And the last and longest shutdown on record was for 35 days during the Trump administration, obviously between 2018 and 2019. And that was insisted on the funding to build the wall along the southern border. that Democrats and some Republicans refused. But it's just insane that this possibly could happen, and the unknown of how long this could last. Ugh, it's unnerving a little bit.
This one is kind of random, right? It's just they can't compromise.
No.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, I think Speaker Kevin McCarthy is trying to persuade Republicans to allow Congress to approve.
Yeah, the more hardcore side of them. Yeah, that really stinks.
We're hoping the government will not shut down, of course. However, we're gonna place bets. Winner gets something.
Bragging rights.
How long do you think the shutdown will last?
I mean, if it was 35, was it during the holidays last time? Wasn't it? It was like a really bad time
probably.
To shut down. I feel like this one, if they shut down in September, it will be done before the holidays, before Thanksgiving, I believe. I feel like October 17th.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Random date.
Yeah, I feel like, again, with this situation, it's not as dire, or it is serious, but compared to the last shutdown, I don't feel like it will last 35 days because it's just persuading people. So I'm hoping my bet is going to be, you said the 17th?
Yes.
October 7th.
Okay.
That's my bet.
Okay, good deal. So another thing about this that I saw was that they have until September 30th because – or wait, my bad. So this last weekend, Congress isn't returning until tomorrow. We're recording this on Monday. Until Tuesday evening because they have the Yom Kippur holiday. So I feel like we should get it too if Congress gets that holiday. Yeah. It's kind of silly.
That is kind of silly.
Yeah. But that was just a little thing that I noticed. Maybe I don't know if it's maybe sorry if I messed up the dates of it. But the bottom line is that they get off for the holiday. I think we should too.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
But all right, let's get to our final article written by our personal Kentucky Kernel reporter, Ava Baumgartner.
Yes, a man was shot and killed near Newtown.
Oh, we're doing that story? Okay.
Oh, yes.
That's by Casey.
Oh, sorry.
Casey Sebastiano.
Ooh.
I believe is how you say her name. Sorry if I messed up your last name, Casey. So, okay.
Yeah,
go on. My bad.
Yeah, so a man was shot and killed near Newtown Crossing Saturday, September 23rd. The police arrived on the scene around 3:30 a.m., and this was located on the 800 block of South Broadway Street. Lexington Police Department said the victim died at the scene as a result of his injuries. Yeah, really tragic news. The victim had no affiliation with UK. The victim, however, was identified as 18-year-old Demetrius Hampton. I believe that's his name and how you pronounce it. And the suspect was identified as 21-year-old Jacob Lee Williams. And the Lexington Police Department is asking Williams to turn himself in and asking citizens to just be aware and cautious of your surroundings and if you perchance see this man.
Yeah, so just bottom line, sad story. Very close to campus. It was over by Cookout and a lot of student apartments that people live in.
Yeah.
So
tragic news.
Yeah, just be on the lookout. Don't stay out at 3:30 a.m.
Yes,
when
even
this
though
happened.
Cookout is very tempting, be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
And especially on Broadway Street, there has been a little bit of chaos happening there recently. So just be aware, stay vigilant, and always put yourself in a safe situation.
Well, all right. I think that's it for today's episode. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you guys next week with another edition.
Yes, it's been a pleasure.
All right. Outro song.